call me aggressive.
Ish.
That's it.
Yeah.
And the word aggressive it just labels you. No one wants to touch you.
Do you think having a supportive partner actually makes it easier for you to actually go out there and pursue whatever it is that you want? I mean, because you're a career woman, you're a parent, and now you're doing the hot seat with Penzola. Do you think him being supportive actually boosts you more to go out there?
Absolutely. Poor guy is supportive in the dark sometimes, but yes, absolutely. Having the right support works. But I think I've also learned the transition. Over the years, I've learned to communicate. I'm not there yet, but I've really tried. I now know that I have someone to rely on.
I think
it's really a tough thing to get used to when you're not used to relying on anyone. But I now know.
I think for the fact that you are aware, that's already a good
start. It's a starting point.
Yeah, rather than being in denial.
No, it's absolutely a starting point.
Communicate.
Yeah.
Your parents right now, right? How do they feel about your success and where you are right now?
Look, my mom is good, my mom is proud. She's my number one supporter. She always comments. She always watches my episodes. She's just a believer.
Okay.
Yeah, she's just a believer. In me, that is.
Yeah. She obviously made a whole lot of sacrifices for you to be here today, right? What would you like to say to her right now when she's watching this episode?
Sure. Okay. Which camera do I look at?
Let's go
then. I'm going to speak to it as if I see her. I love her. I
felt that. I felt that. Yeah. No. Okay.
Yeah, I love her, and she's a strong woman. She never had the opportunities. I think she really wants the best for me.
Okay.
I'm a very difficult child. I think in my relationship with my mom is only developing now.
Okay.
There are things I'm realizing that I do which hurt her. It's only now that I'm able to fix. Now I'm able to sit down and say, hey, remember when I used to do this in. So she comes and she visits, and I have my glass of wine and we talk, and then she'd say now some of the things I used to do and say, and so there's been some hurt there from my end, I'm loving where we're going with our relationship.
Where you are, definitely.
Yeah, but she's, and I think when I look at her and the relationship she has with my kids, I almost think that she wishes she had more kids.
It's beautiful to watch, ne?
Yeah, it is beautiful to watch. So whenever I need a break, because I do need a break now and then,
definitely.
with all the things that I'm doing, and I sometimes feel bad because my son says, "Oh, you're shipping us to Gogo's house again."
Yeah.
But for me, it's not shipping.
Yeah.
I'm taking a break, guys. Like I said, you don't have to be a perfect. The fact that you want a break from your kids doesn't mean that you're a bad mom.
Yeah. No.
It just really means you're human and you need to recharge.
You need your own space at times. Yeah.
So.
And also, I think it's for them to actually experience the love that you received as well as when you were growing up.
Yeah, she probably does more for them than me. Which is what my grandmother did, by the way.
Yeah, so, I'm sure, and she's less stricter now.
Of course.
Because as soon as they...
of course, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Any words of advice to a young Penzola right now who's still in their Ezola, right? Who dreams of being where you are today and where you are going?
Yeah, look, it's and I'm not gonna say it's simple. You just got a dream, right? In fact, I was looking at some of my photos in primary school. If one looks at those pictures, it's almost not possible for you to imagine that you could be where I am today, but it's possible.
Yeah.
So all I can say is, dream it, think about it, and start the action.
Yeah.
So with every big dream, there's little steps that you need to take, and those are the little steps that you must take.
Yes.
And a practical example is I wanted hot seat with Penzola. I didn't have the equipment.
Yeah.
You borrow someone's camera, you
Yeah.
borrow someone's tripod. If I show you some of the tripods I used when I started, you know, it's the little steps.
And now we're here.
It's possible, guys.
Okay.
It's truly, truly, truly possible. That's all I can say.
What inspired the saying? Because we're sitting and we're actually just having conversation randomly. I heard you keep saying you can actually do it all and all of that.
Yeah, I mean, I think I can say that statement now of saying you can have it all because I do have it all.
Yes.
I swear to you, I'm the luckiest girl in the whole world. I have it all. Yes. I have a husband, I have kids, I have a career, you know, I'm studying.
Yeah.
Like, you know, I'm not rich, but I have everything.
Yes.
And I'm happy. So it is possible. You can. The thing of you can't be CEO and be married because you spend half your life at work.
Yes.
No, that's not possible. You can still be that great career woman and be a mother and not be a CEO at your house. I'm not a CEO here at my house.
Yes.
Or I'm not a.
Oh yes, there's one question that I actually had forgotten. I wanted to say, how are you able to differentiate between Upene the corporate and then Upene the star? You know, I'm the host, and then when you go back on Monday to the office, and then how do you balance all of that?
Yeah, well, to be honest with you, I've managed to keep those lives separate. Okay. I don't think people at work know that I have a show. Unless it's people that are really on YouTube and they pick up and they're like, hey man, I think I saw you, and then not that I'm hiding it. When someone says it's sure, that is what I do, and they ask me, you know, why do you do it, and I explain it in the same way that I've explained why I started the show. Yes. But it's not something I go around
telling people that
because there is a penny at work who runs an entire business unit, and that's it. And then there's Penny who does this. Okay. So I actually have managed to keep those quite separate.
Okay. What else are you doing besides the hot seat with Penzola?
Yeah. Yo, Dando. So I first and foremost, I'm a mother. I'm a mother of two, a son and a daughter. I'm a wife, happily married for the last 14 years. Okay. I also do have a full-time job. I also run a photography and videography business called The Frame. So we do, you know, all sorts of videography, weddings, events, birthdays, production shoots, anything really that we can capture, you know. And I am also studying. In fact, I'm doing an executive program which with one of the international universities. And yeah, I think that's really what's on my plate at this point in time.
Whew, that sounds like a lot.
It is. It is a lot, yeah.
Do you feel like it's hard for you as a woman to do all of those things?
Yeah, I don't feel like it's hard.
Okay.
It is hard. It is extremely hard. And I think that's the conversation my husband always, I think his ears are probably tired because I always express myself in frustration. I think I live in frustration most of the time because of being a woman. And I'll start with the fact that I'll start with being a mom. Okay. If my male colleague, counterpart, says he has to drop off in a meeting because he has to go pick up his kids or he has to go watch soccer, his son is playing soccer. Oh no, great, awesome. Yo man, like we can catch up later. Yes. You know? And then, oh, he's such a good dad. You know? Yeah. And then if I do the same, you know, it is assumed that I'm not committed to my job. Oh, yes. Clearly you can't be executive. You are still extramural, you know? Yeah. So it's extremely tough. I have to prove to my boss that I'm committed to this job by not being a mother. You know? Yeah. That's just the perception. Yeah. I'm not sure what it is, but it is entrenched deeply in our corporate environment. Okay. So to a point where, you know, if I have to pick up, I have to check whether I've got meetings, then I have to ask my husband to help. You know, and it's because the male counterparts have wives that do that. Yes. So as a woman, he doesn't understand why must you do school pickups? Yes. You know, yes, so that's really where it's tough, and I think that's just being a mother. Yeah. If I speak about just the career growth, the way that you're treated, the way that you are, the opportunities that you're given, it's terrible. I think I am where I am because you know, they always say I have the highest level of energy, which that comes with a lot of resilience. And I am where I am because I'm so resilient and I'm very pushy, and I'm bold, but it is exhausting to be in that space because you've got to push your voice. You know, there's times where I'm speaking in a meeting and then as I speak, someone says, no, that's not what we're saying. As I was saying, and then, you know, they move on like I wasn't saying anything.
Yeah.
So I think the automatic frame of where you are is you are just boxed. And for you to come out of there and be considered and respected, it's a lot of work.
It's a mission.
So that's really is. And then starting a show like Hot Seats with Penzola, you know, it's like I said, it's self-funded, right? And there's really a great support structure that I've got in everyone close to me that contributes to the show. And you know, in trying to find a brand that can partner with, in trying to find sponsorship as a woman, they somehow, you know, you are wary to approach certain people, and when you do, and then there's like, you know, there's remarks passed.
Okay.
You know, so
then,
somehow now, because, you know, iniga, you want sponsorship now, I'm something.
Oh yeah.
Do you get what I'm
that
saying?
Part, exactly.
So it's really tough.
Okay.
Because no matter how great of a pitch you can put together, if that guy you're pitching to wants your ass,
and then
you're not willing
you
to
give it up or you're not getting it.
Exactly.
Okay.
So yeah, it's tough. I can go on for days around why it's tough to operate as a woman in any space.
Okay. And I like for the fact that you're saying you're bold, because I know a lot of people mistaken your boldness and your confidence, and they would say you are full of yourself or you know too much and all of that. Don't you face that? No,
it's not even that, Dando. They call me aggressive. That's it.
Yeah.
And the word aggressive it just labels you. No one wants to touch you. No one, you know.
Wants to work with you.
So that word is what you are written off. So it's really lonely and it's tough.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. But you soldier on, right?
I don't have a choice.
Okay.
But yeah, I think the last few weeks have been really tough. But I mean, even in the videography and photography business itself, you know, the way that the client negotiates with you as a female, you know, and versus a guy. And I see this because I run the business with my husband. Yes. Right? Yes. So the conversations he has with clients are very different to the ones I have.
You have with clients.
Right?
Yes.
And it's almost as if as a woman, for you to be heard, you have to be bolder. But if you are bolder, then you are considered to be you're harder than being a woman. Like, I don't understand. Like, if you're soft, it's something. If you're harder, you're trying to be a guy. Like,
where hot or cold? What should I do?
Exactly.
Okay.
So yeah, it's tough.
Okay.
We are not there yet, and I'm starting to sound like a broken record. I know, and I'm saying that you know, because the people I talk to and they know it's tough. I'm not sure when we are gonna get to a turning point. But
what do you think? As a society, what's our role as men for actually helping you guys? Because you're already going through this, right? As a woman, what's our role as men in this? Yeah.
So I think as men, your role is critical, right? So, but I don't think you realize how to execute the role. You know, a few of the guys that I know that are really trying, they see it as a tick box. You know, in fact, the other day, I spoke to this guy, and he at work, and he says, "Hi, I mean, at least I'm going to blame it because I've got a few females in my team, so I've done my job." Like, you know, he thinks it's a job. You know, it's a job that he must support women. Yeah, so that statement, he thought he was, you know, he thought he was making a great statement. I looked at him and I'm like, Chief.
No, that's a wrong mentality.
So I don't know. Your role is critical, but I don't know if you guys know as men how you can play the role and how you can genuinely play that role.
You know how we'll know? Through those conversations. Then we'll definitely
That's
know.
why Hot Seat Penzola exists.
And the name Penzola.
Yeah.
How did the name come about? Because it's such a beautiful name, and I remember hearing it, and you explain the meaning behind it. I'm like, that's so powerful. How did that name come about?
So, I mean, the name Penzola came from an idea of actually having a talk show.
Okay.
Right? Because Felicia Mabuza was buried. The dream of doing the thing was buried then, and because of practicality. So now I am where I am in a position to fund my own show.
Okay.
Right? So I'm not going to go to auditions and try and get a presenter job. I mean, who are you? Right? So, so I think the idea came about to say, if I'm not going to then find a presenter job, I'll create my own show and employ myself.
Yes.
You know? So then this is the ideation stage, and I'm thinking, okay, so what do you call your show? You know?
Yes.
You want, and then, you know, as the thoughts are progressive, I wanted to create a platform where we, you know, where there's dialogue, and it must be hot dialogue.
Yes,
it must be hot topics,
and
and then the hot, you know,
the hot seat,
and then the seat.
Oh,
so we hot seat no bad. And then and I'm Penny, you know. So and where's Penny? I mean, Penny is from Penzola. So you know the Penzola. I think hot seat with Penny just sounded so posh.
Yeah, and
you know, I was like, nah.
It's just to put that element.
Because of the both worlds. Remember,
yes,
so
definitely.
There were two worlds that I lived in. I lived in the Waverly Girls world. I lived in. So that had to just work, because I could have used my other name, Sekaya, which my grandmother loved. You know.
Okay. Yeah.
And so but Penny and Zola just worked. Yes. And that's where Penzola was born, and then Hot Seat with Penzola came about.
Okay.
You know, and I mean we're on season 3.
Nice.
Right? So the dream is up.
Yeah.
The dream is up, and it can only go up from here, you know.
And how does it feel now to see this baby being alive?
Look, the excitement is still exactly the same as the 20th of March, when I literally recorded for the first time.
Yes.
Right? And it will continue, because this is it. This is when I'm at my happiest. You know, the platform to just engage on topics that generally people shy away from, and they do discuss them. By the way, they shy away from being on the hot
camera,
seat, on camera,
on the hot seat, exactly.
But on the side, there's many conversations I have, and then as soon as I say, Manje,
let's chop it up on an episode.
And I mean, even earlier on today, I was chatting to a good friend, and you know, we're having this I'm like, this is a topic, come and chat. It's like, nah, I'm the background person. I'm like, whatever, you know.
Everybody's
so there's a lot of background stuff happening, you know. But I think and it is not to expose someone when you put them in front of the camera. It is to allow the conversation, the dialogue, to be wider than what it is.
Definitely.
And really, that's the whole purpose of the show.
Okay. I mean, most of the topics that we speak about on the show, it's real life issues and, you know, things that we. So do you then, before, or maybe to go for a little bit of training and all of that, or how do you actually prepare for a show and all of that?
Yeah, no, that's a good question. I mean, when I started, it's truly a one-man show, right? So, outside of the fact that I want to host the show and facilitate the dialogue, I'm not creative. You know, so I do my own, you know, research and do my own questions and all, and put together, calling my own guests and so there's a lot of admin involved in there, and I think, you know, what I'd like to see for the show is obviously for it to grow, for me to be able to create a team that can do all of that for me.
Yes, definitely.
Because I can't be great at everything. I need to be cognizant and be sober about the fact that, you know, there's technical skills that are required in order for me to really pull an awesome show. You know, but I think there's been growth, right? So
definitely.
If you look at season 1, you know, season 2, and so there's definitely, every season comes with a level of some level of maturity, you know, and we keep going.
Okay, I mean, obviously you used to the corporate world, right? And now you had this idea, this baby, and now you're putting it out there, right? You're starting, and did you at some point feel like, maybe I'm okay with doing what I do for my 9 to 5 and not did you get any cold feet in the beginning?
No, not really, because I can do this and do my the so-called 9 to 5, which has now become 7 to 7, by the way. So yeah, I can pull both of these things, because you have to have a level of an outlet and you know, where you find joy and peace, and this is where it is for me. So no cold feet at all. In fact, I want to go full force and see how far this baby goes, but there's definitely bigger dreams for this for Hot Seat with Penzola.
How do you pick your guest?
Yeah, that's an interesting question. I don't actually pick my guests. I pick the topics I want to discuss. And as a result of not finding guests to speak about the topics I want to speak about, I therefore am relying on those guests that are, you know, the individuals that are willing to talk. And sometimes I find myself having to craft a topic based on the fact that the person is willing to talk. But the actual topics I want to speak about, I am struggling to find people that are willing to have them on camera. And it could be because this is obviously not a popular show. And you know, if it's a bigger show, you know, people are probably much more willing to be on camera because they either get paid or whatever the reason. But at this point where I'm at, finding the people and linking them to the topics I want to do is still a bit of a struggle.
Would you say that limits your show at this point?
It definitely does. It limits the kind of controversy and the kind of hotness I want to bring. It absolutely limits it.
So because you keep saying there's this type of conversation that you'd like to have, but you don't have them because the type of guests that are not willing to come to the studio and all of that. What are some of the conversations that you'd like to have?
So like I said, there's many topics. I want to talk about sex. I want to talk about the realness of black tax. It's there, we talk about it, but we don't really, you know, the people I talk about it on camera. The people I talk to are not willing to come on camera. But also the impact, the psychological impact. You know, on the people that are caring, you know, that have the black text. And how does it affect the marriages? Right? Because if my husband, if I have black text and he doesn't, how does that now fit into the marriage, the household finance? Do we negotiate, say, okay, Masam is 50 rand, Masam is 50 rand, you know, things like those, things that are practical. You know, and I think it's important that we talk about those things so that we can either shift the mindsets and move and evolve as a society. You know, because I, for one, you know, need to ensure, you know, we as the current generation, we need to ensure that we kind of, you know, make things better for the next ones and the next and the next. So there's many topics. There's body shaming that I want to talk about, you know. You know, I remember with the boys that I used to chill with, when they see a girl that's a bit fat with cellulites and don't do like, I don't know, hello, you know, like where does that even come from? You know, but and then you see, as we evolve, you see someone giving birth today and the next day their tummy is flat. How does that work? Let's talk about those things.
How do they do that?
They fat freeze, they do all of those things. So, and I mean, in fact, I know a few people that have done they call it the mummy lift, or it's called the mummy makeover. But they're not willing to, you know, they're not willing to be on camera because now they're ashamed, which when they go out there, someone's gonna know, which okay, but that tummy ain't real. Because you see so many of these people on Instagram at the gym, putting pressure. Leg day. You know. Arm day. You know. Squats. I'm not doing squats, right? So clearly, you know, there's those things, there's unnecessary pressure that we put on ourselves as a society. For me, those are the topics that I want to actually address. To say it's okay to be proud of your mommy makeover. Go for that breast lift, Nana. Hot. You were right. And you were confident.
I mean, we live in the now.
So there's many things that I do want to talk about, you know. Even things like adoption, even stepfatherhood, whatever. Like things that really affect our community.
And I like that because you see, this is what we need to hear. I mean, like you're saying, this conversation is not like they're not happening, they're already happening.
They
but
are
we
happening.
act like they're not happening.
They're just not happening. And I mean, I'll tell you one thing, right? So the topics I've done before, and someone would comment via WhatsApp to say, yo, I just watched this episode, I enjoyed it.
Okay.
Ngithi mara faka le comment da.
Bese
YouTube, yabo. Bese they don't want, they don't want to be linked to that comment.
Okay.
You know, so people resonate with what they're watching, and they so much so that they give me the feedback, but for them to put the feedback in that public platform,
it's a mission.
Yeah. Why are we so afraid?
Okay.
Why are we so afraid to be bold about those conversations?
Okay. But I must say, you actually have big shoes to fill in. You know why?
Yeah.
The society nowadays is so used to consuming bubblegum content. Content like, now you're dealing with deeper things and all of that. So you gotta, to win people into listening to such conversations, some might consider it as that's boring because they want to hear about the good ban wenzen or wenzakalan.
Yeah.
In there. I must say, you have big shoes to fill.
Look, I'm gonna continue doing it because I want to, and there's obviously targets that I'm looking at. I want proper sponsorship because currently the show is self-funded. I want to partner with brands that are bold, partner with brands that are willing to work with somebody like me that's out there that says it as it is. For us to drive more of these conversations. So there's those things that I look forward to, but whether I get them or not, I will still continue. Because it is what it is. That is what I'd like to do.
Do you have some of the companies that you would like to work with on top of your mind?
I do. I mean, there's brands that I've looked at that I associate with that I think our narratives are the same.
Okay.
And obviously, it's really just about packaging the show and approaching them and saying, here's a platform to align, and here's a brand who is Penzola. Penzola is a brand on her own to align with, so that we can push this narrative together. But yeah, I think I just want to encourage people to talk. And be comfortable in talking.
Okay. Yeah. Guys, you heard it from Penzola. She's looking for partnerships. Anyone that wants to partner with her to take the show to the greater heights, because that's where it's going, right? So, so we can actually talk about these things. So it's not like they're not happening. They're not, we're already talking about them. But now let's bring them in front of the camera and let's assist whoever is out there that needs the help, right? What's the end goal for, what's a far-fetched long-term goal for Hot Seat with Penzola?
Look, Hot Seat with Penzola needs to go as big as, channel, or it can be as big, it can be the biggest podcaster or, YouTube channel. There's multiple, it can go as wide, for me.
There's no limit.
There's no limit, there's no limit in terms of where the far-fetched goal. It's, we keep crafting at it. Yeah.
So how do people get a hold of you?
Yeah, look, people can get a hold of me on Hot Seat with Penzola on all our social media platforms. YouTube channel is called Hot Seat with Penzola. Guys, don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment, please. Let's
engage.
Let's engage.
Yeah. Hot Seat with Penzola everywhere.
Yeah.
For me, I would like to say congratulations for what you've achieved so far, and congratulations to what you will achieve, because I know you're going far, and this is just the beginning.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
It's a pleasure. Thank you for having me on the Hot Seat.
Thank you, Hot Seat with Penzola. Season finale.
Season finale, take one.
So,
okay, sorry. I was thinking of something. Okay. So, how do people get a hold of you?
Is my ring clingy enough?
That won't be a blooper. We're not using that bloop.